Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you about late this morning for a album review this time, and it's finally to get back at the Good Charlotte Marathon Studio album reviews that I've been meaning to do last week, but I came down with a bad stomach virus, so I had to delay it for a little bit. But this is for their second studio album, which is for The Young and the Hopeless, that I just got done listening to just now. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 46-minute album and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this review, this Marathon Studio album review for the second album of theirs. Now, I found this to be decent, not great in any way. A New Beginning was a pretty good start to the album, and so was the anthem. I really enjoyed the anthem a lot. It's a very popular song. You can definitely go listen to it if you haven't listened to it yet. Um, Joel Madden's vocals in it is pretty good, and Benji Madden at the guitars is pretty good. In the first two songs, of course. The first song being really fast and really heavy, and the second song just being a normal pop punk song. So then we get to Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and I'm just not feeling for how it's sounding, because it's not performing very well musically, and lyrically it's iffy. It just depends on how it's sounding, and it wasn't sounding as great as I thought it was going to sound. Then comes Wondering, and that song was not so bad. Um, Give me a moment, guys. I gotta let this cat out of my room. Sorry about that, guys. Had to let this cat out of my room. She was getting on my nerves. Uh, just with wanting in and out thing, it's irritating sometimes. But yeah, to continue where I left off, Wondering was not a bad track. I'm not sure if I'm feeling for some of the production sound in it and the mixing. But overall, Joel Madden singing in it's not so bad. He's doing a little bit better in this album than he was in the last one. The last one was kind of cringe and almost bad. So the Story of My Old Man's the next song, and that song did alright. It's not a bad track. I like the lyrics in it, but it's basically about him feeling neglected from not having a dad or whatever, or something like that. And yeah, it just talks about his old man or whatever in this song. So yeah, Story of My Old Man was not a bad song in my opinion. So 4.5 out of 5 for me. Girls and Boys, I think it sounds okay. Video's weird. I'm not sure if I'm feeling for the video as much. It's just a weird setting and weird kind of atmosphere uh, with the video and all that. Oh. So I'm just like, this video's weird. But Girls and Boys was not a bad song. It was decent at best. It's not the best song on the album, so 4 out of 5 for me. My Bloody Valentine, it's average. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. It does alright in some parts with Joel Madden singing, but it's just how it's sounding is not impressing me as much. So yeah. Hold On is about someone that's wanting to commit suicide or did commit suicide, and loved ones lost their loved ones, of course, uh, or friends or family, and other things like that. But yeah, it's a really sad song, a meaningful song. So 4.5 out of 5 for me. I'm not sure if I'm feeling for how Good Charlotte is sounding in this song and how Joel Madden's sounding, but the song is not bad. It's not a bad way to do something meaningful. We've heard it in so many songs with someone wanting to take their own life and all that stuff, which that does spread awareness, and that's a good thing because mental health is a serious thing to really get serious about and all that, but it's just how it's structurally sounding. The song is the main concern, but the song wasn't bad. Lyrically, it was very meaningful, so 4.5 out of 5 for me on Hold On. Riot Girl, pretty fast song, but also decent. It Joel Madden, how he's singing the song, I'm not sure if I'm feeling for it. So, yeah, keep in mind this is just my opinion on this album, so you don't have to agree with me on what I think of each song. It's just how I feel when I'm listening to these tracks. So 4 out of 5 for Riot Girl. Say Anything's gonna get a 4 out of 5. Um, it's not a bad song, but it could have done better structurally and execution wise. It didn't execute as well as it should have. But because Joel Madden was doing these falsetto sings, and I'm not sure if I'm feeling for it. Uh, so yeah. The Day That I Die is one of the weakest songs on the album. Lyrically, it's so contradictory, and it contradicts itself with the lyrics, with how Joel Madden is uh, perceiving. It's pretty much how the listener perceives it, but still, I think the lyrics are very contradictory, in my opinion. So, 3 out of 5 for The Day That I Die. It's not my favorite, it's one of the weakest. The Young and the Hopeless. Joel Madden's trying a little too hard to sound angsty and all that in this song and kind of gritty with his vocals, but I don't know if it's sounding great, but it's okay. So 3.5 out of 5 for The Young and the Hopeless. Emotionless was not a bad one, and Moving On closes out the album pretty well. So yeah, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think this album could have used a little more work, but it was a decent effort. It was not the worst album. It's better than the first album that they made. Their self-titled album was not very good. I gave it a 6 out of 10 for that album, but that was like a week ago, and I was supposed to keep going with the Good Charlotte album reviews, but then I came down with a bad stomach virus, and that's why I had to delay it to this day to continue on with the next Good Charlotte album review. So overall, I think Good Charlotte's The Young and the Hopeless was a decent album. I guess you can check it out if you want to, but it's a classic with some songs. Like The Anthem is a song I'd recommend. And also Moving On, Motionless, Hold On, and A New Beginning. And after that, I think the rest of the album kind of goes a little downhill for me. So for a score, I'm going to give Good Charlotte's The Young and the Hopeless album a 7 out of 10. This was decent. Not great, but it was a decent effort from them. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the Good Charlotte, The Young and the Hopeless album if you've heard it. And if you enjoyed this album review that I made for you guys, I'm trying to breeze through it quickly so I can get done with it as soon as possible. This album review because I kind of dragged it out quite a bit long. But comment below and let me know what you guys thought of this album review I made for you guys late this morning. Tap like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. The next Good Charlotte album review is going to be for the Chronicles of Life and Death. And then I'll do this 2007 album after that with the song The River in it. So I'll check that out. It's probably going to be December 10th or so when I do it. I'll see what I can do. But pretty much, yeah, The Young and the Hopeless was a decent album. It's not Good Charlotte at their best, but it's them trying to do a little better with their albums. But well, I'll just keep listening to their other discography to see if it gets better, but I hear they're kind of a cringy band, in my opinion. Not in my opinion, I just hear that they are, but I have to check out their other albums to see if they're good or not. But keep in mind, this is all just my opinion at the end of the day. You don't have to agree with me on it. It's just how I felt when I was listening to this Good Charlotte album, The Young and the Hopeless. So stay safe, guys. Take care. I will be returning to you for another movie review when I get the chance to. So I'll definitely see you in my next review.